a grand finals. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Alcyone, we have the most finalist of the KSL. He's been to the most KSL finals of anybody. 36 now out of 60. It is Talon's Dark. And he's trying to bring his record up closer to even there, as he has more losses than wins in the finals. It's pretty close, though. His opponent in the lower left-hand corner, trying to take him down with a cheeky early pull here. We've got SHIN, representing Gaiman Gladiators. SHIN is going to drop the hatch, so he's not going to be super committed to this, but going to be able to send a few lings across the map. See if he can be annoying here. To Dark. Now ZVZ, ZVZ is always up. It's always a fun one. I really like this matchup. I mean, I don't know, I like all the mirror matchups. Thank you so much for the new KSL sign up. Appreciate you joining the Patreon. We really could use any support we can get in the Patreon if you want to get these replays. Or if you just want to support StarCraft, everything in the Patreon goes to supporting the players. We pay out the top 8, so I'm trying to spread the love as much as possible. Thank you so much for joining the KSL. But I do really love ZVZ. We'll see if SHIN can get some damage on here. Looks like he's going to grab one drone. Ooh, yeah, he gets it. Feelings on the way. But not a lot here for Dark right now. Should be enough, though. With the drones getting pulled, SHIN's just trying to split up and get as much damage done as he can. He's going to grab 2 drones. But these lings are now getting cleaned up, and I think Dark can send these drones back to mining. Was that worth it for SHIN? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I give it a maybe. Is it a fun way to get a slight tempo advantage in a game? Sure. Yes. I will give him a yes on that. And actually, he just killed an Overlord, too. That's... Honestly, I feel like killing that Overlord is more impactful than anything else. Dark having to spend that extra 100 on an Overlord at this point is extra painful. It looks like SHIN's going to follow it up with a 2-base wall here. The Roach Ward in the Evo chamber, so he's going to be skipping Ling speed, going straight into Lair. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Dark is also skipping Ling speed. But because he sees this wall, he's not bothering. He's not bothering to wall. He's just taking the 3rd base. Okay, so he's not skipping. He just delayed Ling speed. He is going to go for it. But he's just not feeling any threat from SHIN. Because he sees this wall. Now, SHIN could have been doing something cheeky and going for, like, a Ling speed behind a wall and then pops out with a bunch of Lings or something. Dark is taking the bet that that's not what's happening. And in this case, it's going to really pay off for Dark, I think. Now, obviously, his lair is going to be quite a bit later. As will his +1. But I still think this is going to be a very good position for Dark. Oh my god, SHIN's on double Evo? Is he going to start up +1 Carapace also? Oh! Oh, this is unexpected. Okay. Spire. Wow. This is why I love mirror matchups, man. There's like a... It's a real, like, call and response, you know? You do something, your opponent responds to it. You have to respond to what they're doing. It's this fun little back and forth of trying to take advantage of your opponent's weaknesses. And I do not think Dark is going to be expecting the Spire behind this. I don't know. Dark's got roaches coming out. The thing is, for Dark, with this setup, he knows there's a lair behind this, right? He sees roach speed on the way. Dark shouldn't be able to come across the map with anything but Lings. He does have a lot of Lings, and he is going to be able to knock down this 3rd. That is really nice. And I think when Dark sees no roaches here, now he is going to put together that there's a Spire on the way. I feel like if you're seeing no roaches, you got to assume it's a Spire. But he's not responding to a Spire at all. I mean, I guess he's just building more ground units. And there is a certain amount of ground units that makes mutas useless, basically. Shin's going to move up. He's going to take this third. Going to defend it with some roaches. Dark has so much of a ground army, though. He is going to be able to knock this third down very quickly. Oh, even supply blocking Shin. The mutas are out. These mutas are going to take so long to chew through this army. There's actually, that's just a kill on the third base. And with the biles, I think Dark is going to break right through this wall, biling everything down. Transfuse is buying a little bit more time. There's a lot of dead lings right now. And the splash damage from the glaives of these mutas is actually helping quite a bit. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. The Roach is trying to find whatever positions they can. The Ravagers are all going to fall here. But there's more lings coming behind this. Dark needs to get those into this base right now, though, because these lings are getting cleaned up. 5 drones went down. Dark is on 3 bases back at home, but his lair is not even done just yet. Shin did finish up his +1 missile attacks as well, so if he can get a healthy amount of roaches out, he's going to be in a good position to retake a third base. Oh, there's so many more lings coming in right now. Ravager tries to morph to buy some time. One of the Evo Chambers goes down, which is actually kind of good here for Shin. That was a lot of hit points on something that's not particularly useful. He's going to try to retake this third base. Dark is going to keep sending lings across the map, but Dark is droning behind this, and he's tech to lair, so he's got roach speed on the way. His +1 missile attack starts up. He's droning up his third base. He knows he has the base advantage now. So Dark took an advantage there economically. It's a pretty decent one because there's no third for Shin. But Shin still has the advantage of having roach speed. He's got +1 already, so he's almost a full upgrade ahead right now. I mean, I guess he has the upgrade, but +1 carapace is done for Dark. So Dark will actually take the lead with this +1 missile attacks. And the mutas now are free to roam around. There should be enough roaches back at home for Shin to hold any ling run-bys. So these mutas now can go around to be annoying. They might be able to pick off a couple more overlords that are around on this map. My cat is running around and being adorable. So I'm sorry you can't see, but I'm just gonna let you all know my cat is adorable. Link's trying to run by, not being particularly successful. It looks like it's still only 5 mutas out on the field right now, so not really any sort of commitment to these mutas for the time being. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting because I feel like there's a world in which Shin could go a little bit harder on these mutas. Maybe get something more done, but he wants to make sure he's got enough ground army to deal with what Dark's got on his side of the map. And actually, Dark's putting down that Hydra Den anyways. So that's going to mean that any commitment to mutas here is not going to be good for Shin. But since he's not committing to mutas, that is money Dark is spending on not units right now. And as we see, Shin's army supply has jumped up ahead of Dark's. And I feel like Shin has put himself in a decent spot. Now, he is down quite a few workers. Dark is very much on a 3-base economy. Shin's mostly there, but not quite. And that 11 drone lead is going to be pretty substantial for Dark. With +2 missile attacks finishing up here, Shin is going to try to push across the map. Hydra's on the way now out for Dark, but I don't know if now's a good time for those Hydras to come out. They don't have either of their upgrades just yet. And the Roaches and Ravagers are diving in. Shin does eat a couple of biles. Dark is going to back up. Queen's here to deal with the mutas. Muta's just going to try to chip away at these Ravagers in the meantime. Biles going down on the eggs. Stop those Roaches from coming out. Shin has a big army supply lead. This is a very awkward fight, though. And it looks like he has lost those mutas. The Hydras are out. 10 drones went down, though. So suddenly that economy is evened up again. Can Shin keep this pressure on? He's up a little bit of army supply, but of course the coastal reinforcements from Dark will help him out, as well as having the Hydras out They do have their range. So that's going to be a very nice set of army units here for Dark for the defense. Oh, he's going to try to jump on top of this. Shin is standing his ground, though. Some more reinforcements show up, but they get caught in the crossfire. And Dark has evened up that supply quite a bit. He's going to jump on top of this. He is hitting right before his +2 is done, though. So it is even upgrades for the time being, and we are trading so evenly here. But Shin, he's got to get out of there, man. His reinforcements are so far away, and he's just going to tap out as Dark holds on there. Shin may be overcommitting to that attack, but he felt like he had nothing left to do. I don't know if you realize how many workers he killed. The economies were dead even right there. I feel like if he just isn't quite as committed with the Roach Ravager, maybe drones a little bit behind it and then dips out, we could have seen ourselves in an even game. But Dark, he holds on. He holds on. He sussed out the mutas, dealt with them beautifully by attacking. Turns out that's often the answer in ZVZ. Just have more ground units than those first few mutas can deal with. And it worked out very, very well for Dark in that game. We're going to get into a game 2 now. Oceanborn will be our map. Cat just ran all the way across the apartment and jumped in his box. You're so cute. I bought him, I don't know if he's going to wear it, but I did buy him a little officer costume. I bought him a little policeman's costume. It's adorable. But I haven't been able to get him to wear it yet. We keep trying. Just slowly keep trying and see if he'll understand that if he puts it on, he gets treats. All right, let's get into game number 2 here. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Oceanborn, up 1-0 in this grand finals. It is Talon's Dark. And as opponent in the upper left-hand corner, we have Gaiman Gladiator's Shin. All right. Looks like a more standard start here. No early pools for Shin. I like that Shin was trying to, you know, maybe shift the momentum a little bit in the early stages of that last game, but I don't know. Dark is kind of the king of that. He's so good at shifting that early momentum and bringing other players to his terms, that it feels unwise to try to mess with his game. It's like, okay, now the game's in a bit of a weird state, but like, unless you're a hero or somebody, it feels like it's just going to favor Dark every time. So more normal game here. Link speed on the way for both of them, so not even going to see anybody skipping that to go for anything weird. Sorry, I just whooshed by accident. Every now and then I whoosh at the wrong time. All right, this was going to be the next question. When, if ever, do we see Baneling has to go down? Dark's going to put his down. We're not seeing any from Shin just yet. Dark is also going to put down the Roach Warren, though. Way in the back of the main. This feels like a cheeky roach horn. Ooh, and okay, so Shin is going for the best defense is a good offense strat. Which I was going to say is where you skip the Bane Nest to make a bunch of lings, but he didn't skip the Bane Nest. He's going to put that down just late. But he is going to run across the map. These lings are going to spot this. Oh, and they spot the Baneling Nest too. That's actually a beautiful scout for Dark. But is it too late? He's got to build lings now. He's got some defensive Banelings coming online back at home. Shin is going to see, and he's going to just target them down, try to get them down. One will fall. The second one should be able to get up. But the third base is going to go down, and Shin, he can just leave. Oh, he's even going to trigger that second Baneling. So now Dark, he's just down a base. He does have a Roach Warren, so he can try to run across the map with Roaches, but Roaches without speed on 2 bases. It's going to be very, very difficult, I think, for Dark to fight this out. Because Shin back at home, he's got his third base up. He's ahead a few workers. He can just make defensive Banelings, and as long as he doesn't blunder and eat a massive Baneling shot, he should have plenty to defend. Roaches can get overwhelmed by Lings, and I don't see any way for Dark to have enough Lings and Roaches to attack across the map. But without a third, surely he has to do that. This has put Dark in a very, very awkward position suddenly. I think what he's doing right now is he's waiting for Shin to start droning back up and then moving across. But Shin, he's too smart for that, man. He is not droning at all. He's just building Lings and Banes right now. He does have his own Roach Warren on the way. But right now it's just Lings and Banes. And Shin just needs to not eat a Baneling shot. And I think he'll be able to hold here. There's a lot of Roaches, but the Queen should be able to help defensively. Baneling's running through. Dark not taking a big Baneling shot either, though. And that's a problem for Shin because now the Lings come in here. They surround these Queens. Oh, Lings coming back for Shin. Where were they? He eats a big Baneling shot. The one thing I told him not to do. And oh, no. There just isn't quite enough there for Shin to hold. I thought he had enough on the counterattack, but maybe he did need an earlier Roach Warren or like a Spine Crawler maybe. Could have been enough there. But GG, the counterattack for Dark does it. And suddenly, Dark is on match point to win another KSL. Dark right now, he has 15 wins and 20 second places. Shin, this is his third finals, and we're one game away from it being his third loss in the finals. So, it's a painful one for Shin. But let's see if he can pull it back. It's ZVZ. We ain't going to call it yet. You've gotten 3 ExxonMobil ads on this stream today. StarCraft funded by Big Oil confirmed. I do not support ExxonMobil. Make that very clear. Damn. That's painful. You know what, though? Here's how I look at it. We're just taking money from ExxonMobil. That's what we're doing. We're just taking that, putting it in our pocket. And as long as I counter their message, then we've successfully just taken their money. And that's how we defeat Big Oil. Because clearly throwing soup at the glass covering of a painting is punishable by multiple years in jail. So, you know, can't fight it that way. Anyways, let's get into game number 3 here. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have Talon's Dark, who's up on match point. Over his Zerg opponent in the upper left for Gaiman Gladiators, it is Shin. In the time it took for that ExxonMobil ad to play, how much money do you think ExxonMobil made? How many hundreds of millions of dollars did they make in that 30-second ad? We got him, though. We got him. They're on the ropes. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. We'll take down ExxonMobil. One day, I believe, we'll stop being dependent on oil. That day will be when the human race inadvertently destroys itself by destroying this planet, unfortunately. But we won't be dependent on oil anymore, so that'll be good. The few people left on this planet hopefully won't be dependent on oil unless we cover it in water. And then the few people left on this planet, some of them are dependent on oil that they get from an old oil tanker to drive around on jet skis led by Dennis Hopper. And I, of course, am talking about the movie Waterworld. Absolute banger of a movie. Who doesn't love Kevin Costner's masterpiece, Waterworld? Kevin Costner, fresh off the back of award-winning, Oscar-winning best movie of the year, Dances with Wolves. A beautiful tribute to the Sioux Nation in a 3.5-hour, very slow-moving movie that for some reason I loved as a kid, and then followed that up with Waterworld. I do unironically like Waterworld, but it is funny that Dances with Wolves is such this like slow kind of introspective piece that deals with a very serious issue, and I think it feels like it does a very good job of it. And then Waterworld is just like, yeah, dude, we having fun. Post-apocalypse. Let's do Mad Max, but the water. Very different tone. I have not read World War Z. I've heard it's very good. I heard that the audiobook for that is really good, actually. They have like a whole voice cast for the World War Z audiobook. That would probably be how I read it if I was going to. But all right. Dark's Baneling Nest is about to finish up here. It feels like he might want to put a little pressure on Shin, though. Actually has quite a few lings back at home. He's already got a defensive Baneling. Maybe more importantly, he's already got roaches on the way. Shin basically doing the build Dark did last game, but because he didn't lose his third, kind of like this for Shin. But look at that army supply, man. Dark, in the meantime, his Roach Horn is not done yet. And he is just now, I think, going to be seeing these roaches coming across the map. He is waiting for this Roach Horn to finish. He's going to drop a couple of Spine Crawlers, but I think he's just sacrificing this third base. We'll see if he can get some Baneling hits as the Lings dive in here. But Shin does avoid the Banelings, at least for now. And yeah, Shin's going to take essentially the consolation prize of killing the third. But I feel like that's enough. If he sees these Spine Crawlers, does he want to try to bust in here? He's going to go for it. Oh my god, he blows the Banelings up in the middle. Kills both Spine Crawlers with those Banelings. Drone's getting pulled now for Dark. I thought Dark had a good look in defense here, but all of a sudden, he's in some trouble. Now the Banelings here defensively for Dark are going to be so important. Can he get the big hits? Shin is avoiding it, but that means these Lings are just not fighting as well. Baneling's doing a great job being a deterrent here for Dark. Only loses 3 drones. God, these 2 Banelings have done so much work for Shin. And I feel like he might have pushed a little too hard into this. I think if he kills the third and leaves, this is great for Shin. As it is, it's still good for him. Don't get me wrong. But he lost a lot more roaches there than he needed to. I think he could have taken a much better trade and not lost any of these 5 roaches. All he really killed with them was like a couple extra Lings, maybe a roach. Killing the 2 spines was really nice, but Dark does end up holding. He's ahead a few drones, but of course down that base, so Shin should be able to just catch up. Let's see. We've got a lair on the way here for Dark. Shin lairless so far. So that means roach speed's going to be in favor of Dark. And he might be able to take advantage of that. I mean, he's going to have a really nice drone count as this third base finishes up. He's long distance mining from it for the time being. Shin not able to get in and get a scout to see if there's a lair or where it is. And I feel like Shin's just playing kind of defensively right now. He's just building units. Without roach speed, pushing across the map is going to be really dicey after this is done for Dark. So Shin's window of time for pushing is closing. That being said, he is at nearly double Dark's army supply right now, and he is going to shove. Dark is going to spot this with the Overlord. 3 more spine crawlers, 4 more spine crawlers start up. Right away, Dark realizes he just needs to defend, as he's got Banelings and Ravagers morphing. He's going to try to hold the high ground here. No high ground vision for Shin, and he's just going to try to bully his way up here. But a great concave for Dark is going to make that a little more difficult, but Dark's, his attention is split. Ling's trying to hit over on the side. Drone's getting pulled to help buy time here as the Lings come in from the back, getting the full surround. Baneling's trying to waddle forward and get some damage done, but they're really not getting much done. However, the 4 spine crawlers are finished. A couple of them are going to go down. Can Dark hold on? The army supplies are so close. Everything in the supplies are so close. But the 1 spine crawler staying alive so long, and the closer reinforcements for Dark, it feels like he's starting to do it. The Ling reinforcements, they're overwhelmed by the roaches, and Dark holds on. An insane hold from Dark, who has roach speed and +1 missile attacks finishing now, and he is going to counterattack across the map with the lair done, with roach speed done, with +1 missile attacks. And as Shin just is now starting them up, that is so late, and I don't think Shin has enough to hold on against this. He's got 13 roaches being produced right now. Maybe he can buy time, maybe he can hold on, but this is still going to be a very good position for Dark. Transfuse is buying a little bit more time. Dark just trying to micro against these Lings. The roaches are out now, but Dark is still pushing through. Okay, here come the roaches from the natural and the main base, and it looks like Dark is going to be forced to pull back. Shin takes the army supply lead once again. Yeah, but in the meantime, Dark, he's droned up a little bit, so he takes that income lead again. It's 3 base to 3. And again, Dark with the upgrade lead. Every roach versus roach battle is going to be good for him. Shin is ahead in supply, though. He's got more roaches, so Dark needs to be a little bit careful not to get too overzealous here. Looks like he's just going to try to take down some of these overlords out on the map. Ooh, pushing up this ramp is dicey. He sees how many roaches there, and he backs up. That counterattack was really nice for Dark. But droning behind it is, it puts him in such a good position. Like Shin, so Shin's roach speed just finishes now. He couldn't have pushed across the map, and I think Dark realized that there was no roach speed. He droned up, took advantage of that, and now he can just build roaches. And by the time Shin gets here, because he had to wait for that roach speed, Dark is going to be chilling. He should have plenty to defend this. He's got Ravagers, which are great defensively, because every time Shin pushes in, files go down. Oh, and Shin's going to dive in. I was going to say he's got to pull back, but he just eats some of the biles, gets the full surround, but Dark has reinforcements coming out. He's got queens here as well. I don't think Shin can break through. And Shin has to back up once again, losing that army supply lead. The only thing he really had going for him. +2 missile attacks is almost done for Dark. He's got Burrow and Tunneling Claws on the way. There's no retreat here for Shin, really. He's just going to keep trying to push, but he's not going to win this fight. And as that supply drops, he's down 10 drones. GG gets called. Dark not only wins his 16th KSL, but he wins it clean.